Aloha fam. Unity Grace here. Unity, miracles, radiance, grace. Why do I say that? Because that's the name I was told to be using now, because it's coded in our DNA. Miracles, the 3015, the shortcut through the DNA. So the more times we say it and the more times we think about it, the more we activate the miracles within. So, the title I was guided to use for this LoveStream today has to do with putting Humpty Dumpty together again, our psyche, our fragmented psyche. If we're wondering what we've been working on, that's what we've been working on for a long time, is pulling all the pieces of the fragmented psyche together again. It's been quite a journey. And 2001-8 was the completion of that piece. 2001-8, we were in it deep, miracle by miracle, every moment a reflection, a perfect mirror to unify the fragments together again, to find neutral, to find center within, for these lightship Merkabas to prepare for takeoff, what we really came for. Unity consciousness, multi-D. Yes, that's what these bodies are capable of. Supernatural in every way. And preparing for activation. So, a wonderful sharing I have today came to me. A lot of transmissions come through while I am resting. I'm finding my consciousness is really not sleeping anymore. The body rests and the consciousness is receiving a lot of downloads and data to share. I'm sure it's the same with lots of you. So, this piece about 2018 and all those fragmented aspects of the psyche and human consciousness that we have collectively been bringing back together. Yay, team. A group effort. This thing called Unified Global Ascension. It's a team thing. I have spoken a few times about the hologram of good and evil. So if you think of us as being in these amazing avatars that have had databases downloaded to our operating systems, a big part of our expanded learning came from duality and the hologram of good and evil. So everyone had to take a part in the play. Everyone had to play somewhere inside that polarity. So we have politicians and we have musicians and we have people in disadvantaged states in countries where currencies were devalued and all of those things. Time to end that game, and we did successfully. So, people may be discovering there is a lot of energy lightening up inside of the self. Some people close to me are reporting that their solar plexus is feeling quite unique. That's part of the metamorphosis. As we transcend out of two-strand DNA, you can read about it in Richard Rudd's beautiful book, The Gene Keys, when he speaks about the awakening of the solar plexus, because when I had my own awakening from my original blueprint, the hand of God came into my solar plexus and went like a combination lock and unlocked my consciousness from its electromagnetic connection to my original blueprint. And so That is where the blueprint is coded, like lines and dots. If you look at the I Ching, it kind of looks like Morse code or cymatics, and that's exactly what it is. And that's how our blueprint and our personality and our appearance was imprinted onto our bodies of water. And so as we unplug, there's a lot of action in that solar plexus place, because that represents the top of the lower chakras and the ganglia or roots of the heart, and the activation of the higher aspects of our operating system, our Merkabahs turning on. Woohoo! Flight Lessons 101. 222 and 33,333 and so on. A lot of us have experienced the liberation in the last few days. Gay say nay miracles. You know, I like to say it that way because I don't like time languaging, so I don't acknowledge a day as a 24-hour clock kind of thing. So it's fun to play with words. Yes, a lot of us may be discovering a lot of liberated energy in the last few days. And that is because that hologram of good and evil, the insertion in the consciousness so we could play that game, has dissolved away, which allows everyone playing every role inside of duality and polarity to be freed up, no matter what your name or your position. Because here's the thing, we collectively prayed in our collective liberation. The game was up, and everyone was tired of playing a polarized part. So, hi. So, yes, this is a wonderful thing. So, some people had very extreme polarized parts, and other people had more neutral places, because there is every role to play in duality and polarity in order for us to all get an equal lesson, an equal learning. Because in the field of polarity, it was shared energy. So someone could make an action on one side of the globe, and it might affect someone on the completely opposite side. That's how we shared the energy together for learning expanded. We were never separate, and we were never apart. Team effort all the way. Everyone being released and liberated from their parts in polarity. Yay, yay. Because we all called it in. So, it's here. Now. Which means, with the hologram of good and evil dissolved within the collective consciousness, the collective psyche, we can all come together to do great things. These things I do, you shall do, and much greater, a famous line we have heard many times before. And now that the collective psyche has been liberated from polarity and that extra insert of good and evil, good, bad, right, wrong, now the sky is the limit and beyond. So if you take a look at Richard's gene key in the 60th gene, in the gifting frequency, it is the transcendence of the moral game of good, bad, right, wrong. How does that occur? It occurs because we end the game. We bring the play to completion where everyone had a part. This is an amazing school that we've been in. No one got left out. Everyone got a role in the play. It's another famous line, forgive them for they know not what they do. Maybe that meant all of us. What I have been discovering in my restful states is the completion inside my consciousness of the final fragments. And so when I am resting my body at night, my consciousness is just clearing up the little corners in my psyche, dissolving the bounds of separation within the cells, kind of like what happens inside a caterpillar as it's turning into a butterfly. Everything, first of all, inside dissolves. So a new structure can come through. What if the portal opened up in front of you? Would you walk through? Or would you turn back to get your friends? What if the portal closed? What if, as these multidimensional experiences begin to show up for us, we jump in and trust and go for it and go deeper into it and track the energy of it like a full yes, quantum leap, because we all leapt out of the quantum plane of duality and polarity. Now we are in the blackness of space, reforming like amazing skydivers do when they come together to make the form, as I shared the other night. We're making a new snowflake together. Yay, everyone can play equally. And that's the great part about it, is all of the supernatural gifts of creation are returned to everyone equally. So there is no longer push-pull occurring within the psyche of anyone. It may look like it's still playing out, but it's not. So don't even look that way. Look ahead, eye on the prize. Look through the first eye to see what we are being shown and place our focus there. And feel it with our heart to know. And if something shows up in front of the first eye that does not feel resonant anymore, and we go, I am so tired of that old story, just let it go. Dissolve it inward. Because we have the capacity to collapse the dualities. Any final breadcrumbs, refinements, just collapse them inwards. That's how powerful we are. We've been learning to navigate energy, is what we have been doing on this trip. Learning to see our triggers as gifts and neutralize the stories so that we can maximize the energy of what we called the emotional body, which got separated from the mind, the mental body, and as they became separate, it created a lot of experiences that we are complete with now. Forgive them, for they know not what they do. The fourth gene, forgiveness, is to release the story in totality. First of all, the release of global karmic and financial debt, and then the release of the story in totality, because it's not real and it never happened. Any part of us that goes, what? That's not true, it did happen. Well, we have the capacity now to let it all go, and why would we be encouraged to do that? Because there are a whole lot more fun things available to do, like play in the realms of multi-D. Create beauty, create art. We are infinite beings. We are not bound by taxes or time and space. We all know this. It's programmed within us. So let's come together and celebrate this piece. So, as the fragmented aspects of the psyche all get drawn back into the center, which is the work that we have been doing, A metaphor would be like this: if you were inside of your cocoon, as you willingly do the work to overcome the triggers and pull the fragmented aspects back together, they are like little silk balls coming in, those pieces of the psyche, and they form a cocoon. As we collapse them back in, as we pull them towards us, it creates a shell around us, a seed. Let me see if I can brighten this up. It's getting a little bit darker. So, as those fragmented aspects come together, it actually starts to create a magnificent cocoon around us. It's quite beautiful. It's probably about the most profound and amazing experience we can have as human beings, is to experience this part of communion with the higher selves. Just waiting us to form the cocoons, to pull that energy inwards to us. Oh, it's a little bit dark here. Let's see if we can find some light. So, any final remnants that we may have to do of pulling that energy inward, just do. It's worth it, trust me. That's what I'm here to say. Because as we do, it forms this beautiful cocoon around us. And then what begins to happen as the cocoon becomes very clear inside, as all the parts of Humpty Dumpty psyche come back together, and we still the emotional waters of our being, we become the alabaster jar. Clear, still, for this lovely higher consciousness to come in. This is a cute little stone. Look, it's got cute little things in it. So, we actually begin to experience those fragments turn into our incredible shell of consciousness. And inside of that shell of consciousness, something miraculous begins to happen. First and foremost is that the consciousness doesn't go to sleep at night. It just rests, and it gets to witness a whole new experience beyond duality. It's quite remarkable, and it has no correlation to the way that we've been thinking. It's like we get to experience two different worlds at the same time. The body, going through its metamorphosis, may be still somewhere in this 3D realm, and the consciousness is beginning to fly. It's quite cool. Yes. What else is there to share about it? This is what's happening. Guaranteed. So, whatever little refinements are necessary, I'm here to say it's worth it. Do them. Resolve the triggers. Bring the fragments of the psyche back together through our reflections. Most of it should be done because we are now in 2001-9. It's the year of making real everything that we knew we came for. It's programmed in us, 60th gene. Go to the seated frequency, and it says so. The energy has been liberated, and no one has to play a polarized role in the play any longer. Yay! Wow, how incredible is that for everyone? You don't have to be a nasty politician that has a bad rap. You can actually come and join everyone equally, because that's what happens when caterpillars turn into butterflies. No one left behind. It's an inside job. So celebrate and trust what we are feeling, and know that this is the description of what has been occurring. The fragmented aspects of the psyche coming back together. And now it's all a physical, mechanical process together. We did it. We did it together. We actually dissolved the hologram of good and evil within our collective operating system. It's not real. There is no enemy. There's no one outside. I know we've been going through this for years, and it's now official within us. We're all friends. So when you think about doing the work to collapse those little pieces of psyche that might still be coming home, or you need to forgive part of the story and the journey you've been on, just turn it into art. That's what 2009-19 is about. The 64th gene. The story is complete. The journey is complete. The hero's journey. Now we turn it into art together. Every little piece we are willing to collapse inward comes to us like a gift of that silk wrap I spoke of. And then the greater consciousness begins to flood in, and we experience it, and it is very profound, and it is a love like no other. It's the love that's been pulling us along to succeed and to reach it and to feel it and experience it. And it is the love of that greater aspect of the self that has been guiding us along, all along. Yay, the true beloved is coming in. It's real, I'm here to say, in every way. So, thanks for tuning in. We love we. Many incredible creations are coming forward together. Now this time, trust them. We will see enemies become friends instantly and work together. Because there is no insert in our psyche anymore. It's like, gone. Hologram of good and evil. Accelerated learning done. Yay. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. Aloha.